So tomorrow is The Mandalorian Season 3 Episode 5 directed by Peter Ramsey. Brendan Wayne told us that this episode genre-wise and stylistically is very different to the others, even more unique than Chapter 19 on Coruscant. I've always said breaking the mold keeps Star Wars fresh. Now tomorrow's episode is 41 minutes and 3 seconds in length. And we also have the Bad Batch Season 2 double episode finale. How exciting, 3 episodes of Star Wars. As always, I'm so pumped to break them down. Something worth bearing in mind regarding clues for the next episode is that this one is Katie Sackhoff's favourite, so I predict it's going to be all about Bo-Katan or predominantly about Bo-Katan. Now we also have 2 new character posters for Mando. This week it's Kelleran Beck looking fantastic in his pose, and Jon Favreau's Paz Vizsla, who by the way is now cool with Mando after he and Bo-Katan helped rescue his son Ragnar. A few Star Wars fans are wondering if Ragnar is Paz Vizsla's biological son or he adopted him as a foundling. I would assume the latter, but these things are not made clear by the show. They've not addressed if members of the tribe have to stay celibate or not. The closest hint that intimacy is forbidden was in Chapter 4 of Season 1, The Sanctuary. Din Djarin was pushing away Omera's advances. She wanted to remove his helmet, but he didn't let her. Going into tomorrow's episode, I really don't know what to expect. Every single week has given us surprises, but you'd assume at some stage and going into the second half, the big bad of the season is going to make himself known. Obviously Moff Gideon, but maybe also hints towards other Imperial warlords, and of course Grand Admiral Thrawn before the Ahsoka show, even if it's just a tease, which some fans think happened at the start of Chapter 19. Now a big moment that concluded last week's episode was Bo-Katan admitting to the armourer that she saw a real mythosaur. The armor responded as if she didn't believe her, but a part of me hopes that Bo is going to prove it, tame the beast and unite her people, but I reckon that's going to be safe for later in the season. So for the time being, and for episode 5 tomorrow, we just have to wait and see. After all, Brendan Wayne suggested we have no clue what's coming. He said we should prepare ourselves for more surprises. And so now, my dear friends, in other Mandoverse news, a massive leak for the Ahsoka show. If you don't want to be spoiled, this is your warning. But otherwise, let's dive straight into this. The plan to rescue Grand Admiral Thrawn in Star Wars Ahsoka. This comes from MakingStarWars.net. They say the following: in a recent report, I outlined how I believe Star Wars Ahsoka was essentially cut into 2 parts. The first part is dealing with Sabine's story issues and the New Republic, while the second is gonna find Ezra Bridger in the locale while he was whisked away by the Purgle alongside Grand Admiral Thrawn in Rebels. But they now say that a huge clue to the story of Star Wars Ahsoka was under our noses the entire time. Morgan Elsbeth is to Thrawn what Ahsoka and Sabine are to Ezra. Both factions want their space boy back home, and in that their missions are somewhat identical. So when Ahsoka in The Mandalorian Season 2 at the end of Chapter 13 asks Morgan Elsbeth where is Thrawn, she actually doesn't know. And just a side note, there is a connection between Morgan Elsbeth and the Night Sisters, but sources now tell Making Star Wars that Morgan Elsbeth is in all of the Ahsoka show. The rumour is that Morgan Elsbeth was not just chilling on Corvus, she was extracting key resources from the planet to build a ship capable of bringing Thrawn back to the core world. They say it must be a difficult place to get to, with some obstacles to overcome. Morgan Elsbeth never stopped production on her war machine when the Empire fell. Din even mentions it looks like she's still in business, and apparently that minor throwaway line was so significant to this story. Making Star Wars also reveal that Balon and Shin, Ray Stevenson and Ivana Sakno's characters, are allied with Morgan Elsbeth. Balon was a former Jedi who survived Order 66. He and Shin are now darkside users who hunt down Jedi. In the show they say all 3 travel to the unknown regions to bring Thrawn home, and Thrawn now has a bodyguard called Enoch, who looks like a golden Destro from G.I. Joe, with samurai influences. And if you're wondering what Morgan Elsbeth is building, it's a giant ship that can bring back the 7th Fleet. In the Ahsoka show, Morgan Elsbeth and what she's building on Corvus are vital. Some really awesome reveals there. Elsbeth was such a cool character in Season 2 of Mando, and now I can't wait to see her in Ahsoka. Diana Lee Inosanto, who gave a fantastic performance as Morgan Elsbeth, is the goddaughter of Bruce Lee, and I remember at the time of Season 2 there were rumours she would have a bigger role in future seasons. Well, future seasons ended up being the Ahsoka show, and now we know Dave Filoni had a bigger plan for her. The Ahsoka show is also adapting aspects of Rangers of the New Republic, as is Mando Season 3, making Star Wars notes that Mon Mothma appears in both shows, The Mandalorian and The Ahsoka show. Now, if you're wondering why Balon and Shin didn't appear in Season 2, when Elsbeth wanted Ahsoka dead, they were on a mission to hunt down Ezra. They were off-world, hunting down the Jedi after he separated from Thrawn after they were launched into hyperspace, and it is worth noting, Thrawn and Ezra separated a long time ago. Now, as I say, Thrawn has a new bodyguard because Rook died in Star Wars Rebels. He needs other assassins and hunters. This story is so much more expansive than we can fathom at this stage, and Thrawn's full plan is not yet known. We know he's amassing an army in the unknown, in what's called the New Beyond, but apart from that, the mastermind that he is, he probably has other plans that are going to factor in as well. I'm so excited for this show. Share your thoughts in the comments down below. In other Star Wars news, the Acolyte's Jodie Turner-Smith opens up about new details regarding her character. Here's what she said. As soon as you walk onto one of those sets, I mean, first of all, okay, they got money. This is wealthy, this production. She describes it as a very cool and surreal experience, a bucket list moment. She also describes The Acolytes by Leslie Headland as the darkest project she's worked on. It's definitely not light-hearted, she says. Now, on the subject of her character, she says she did not use a lightsaber. She's not a Jedi. And even more bizarre, she didn't work with Amanda Stenberg directly. So all we know from this is that she's not a Force user, and she didn't shoot scenes with Amanda. Interesting stuff. And so now, my dear friends, as you guys know, this year marks the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, and as such, Lucasfilm is putting out a few comics, and one of them is going to explore one of the biggest mysteries of Episode 6 at Jabba's Palace. Jabba's Palace issue number 1 by Mark Guggenheim comes out tomorrow, and this issue is going to tell us why the protocol droid Eightyem was disintegrated. There was never an answer regarding why. George Lucas said that the reason it was included in the first place was to show us how scary Jabba could be. It was a visual cue for the audience, because Jabba's palace was always meant to be unpleasant, but now it looks as though the droid is getting some backstory. According to the preview, Eightyem was Jabba the Hutt's original protocol droid, but he was involved in a plot to betray the Hutt. The pages of the preview showcase a new subject coming before Jabba, named Sylvan Khan. He offers Eightyem a chance of freedom in exchange for 4 favors. And though fans will finally see Eightyem's crimes, the story is fated to play out as a tragedy, since it's been established that Eightyem is not the mastermind. His death becomes even more sad because he's being used by Khan. And a very notable quote from the droid, words were his weapons, his tongue was formidable as any blaster. Now, as I mentioned earlier, tomorrow we also have the Bad Batch Season 2 double episode finale, the summit where Hemlock is going to outline his plan to Tarkin and other Imperials, and the ominous Plan 99. In the last episode, Crosshair talks about Plan 88, so 99 is going to be the final one, probably to capture Omega and destroy the rest of the batch. Let's see how it all plays out. As I say, look out for my full breakdown on Thursday. And so now, my dear friends, the first High Republic show before the Acolyte is Young Jedi Adventures, a preschool animated show. Now, I will say, although there was a rumour that it's going to come out early, it's still dropping on May the 4th. And today, they released 3 new shorts, just to get a bit of a taste. I'm going to go through them, and we're going to react to them. So no more jibber jabber, here is shorts number 1. Meet the Young Jedi, Young Jedi Adventures, Short 1 by Disney Jr.
This is going to be fun! Kai, this training droid is for older kids.
Okay, so right off the bat, and sorry to pause it so early on, I love this style of animation. I think this is exactly what a show like this should be, to introduce Star Wars to a new generation of kids. And that's Nubs. He's from a new species called the Pooba. Really cute, like a blue Ewok.
It might be too hard for us. You sure we should use it?
Oh, that was adorable. I love how it says speaking Pooba. Look at his little face.
It's gonna be fine. Okay.
Okay, that's really awesome. Like a training droid.
Well, the name's Kai Brightstar. My friends and I are Jedi.
So this kid is Kai Brightstar.
Jedi are heroes who are strong in the Force. They go out on missions to help people throughout the galaxy.
You've got to admit, this is pretty original. So we have a new planet, the planet of Tanu. I like it. The flat-top trees. Quite an original design. It's like, kind of reminiscent of Takodana. Maybe some Kashyyyk thrown in there. A little bit of Sorgun. And remember guys, this is canon.
There to help. One day we'll become Jedi Knights. But right now, we have a lot to learn.
Okay, so I paused it at a really funny moment when he's being thrown back, but Nubs is really talented with the Force. I assumed because he had like a baby lingo, he would be like the most inexperienced, but I think the synopsis said he's one of the strongest. I could be wrong.
Whoa.
Okay, that is strength. I've got to say I'm very impressed by the lightsaber action.
Full of your surroundings. You must.
Oh yes, here comes Master Yoda.
Yoda! Who's the little green guy?
It's Yoda, don't you know Yoda?
Because you solved your problem together.
The John Williams music is so great. I really like this iteration of Yoda. The animation looks so much better than those early posters. And also, this is a new voice actor for Yoda. Unfortunately, Tom Kane suffered a stroke, and this isn't Frank Oz. This is Piotr Michael. So I also hear we have a new poster. So just for information, Kai is a human, Liss is a Pantoran according to Wikipedia, Yoda is a Yoda species, of course, Nash, human, RJ, some kind of astromech, and Nubs is a Puba. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.